Hello and welcome. This is the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I am Agarwal. Here are the headlines. It's a subdued start to the trading day on Thursday. The Nifty trades around the 11,650 mark. Open interest surges in Kaveri Seed company as traders take fresh short positions in its stock futures. Indiabulls Housing Finance is the top gainer on the Nifty after it guided for a 17 to 19% profit growth for the current financial year. And Jet Airways is trading with declines after lenders are set to infuse 1,500 crores in the struggling carrier. Let's very quickly take a look at how the markets are panning out. We're looking at subdued cues, fairly quiet considering we're just ahead of the RBI policy meet. We aren't expecting too much there, but based on that, we're likely to see a little more activity after the RBI policy, certainly not before that in terms of expectations from analysts. But there you have it. That's as far as your futures is concerned. And moving on to your Nifty Bank for your futures too, to take a look at how things are panning out there. Okay, so there's a premium, but again, it's largely flattish. Let's move on and talk about your options then and take a look at how we're seeing options pan out. So this is your distribution, open interest distribution, but I reckon this is for the current week, and this is probably for today. So, well, of course, these options expire today, and we have max OI around the 11,800 call, and that's the level we're keeping an eye on. And as far as your your 25th April open interest distribution is concerned, you have max OI and 12,000 call, and of course on the lower end it is the 11,500 put. So it's a 500-point range essentially within which you can expect the Nifty to move. And that said, we're going to have to wait and watch whether or not the RBI policy does change anything significantly for the Nifty. It's unlikely, but you can't rule anything out. And on that note, let's also take a look at the India Volatility Index, because it's worth a mention considering it is currently trading higher by as much as 2% and comfortably above the mark of 19. This may be a cause for concern in terms of expectations of volatility, but we'll ask our experts whether or not they can actually expect this wicks to come off after the RBI policy. That said, in the near term, we also have to take into account elections. So, well, several factors which will determine how wicks moves going forward. But on that note, let's also take a look at all the stocks that we are going to address today in our show. So we do have Amara Raja batteries, which has seen a lot of pressure of late, largely on account of where it's called off its deal with Johnson's Controls. Interglobe Aviation also advancing in trade, surprisingly. This is us against Jet Airways coming off, Kaveri Seed company, and of course the cement pack in general. We're seeing a lot of traction. So keep an eye on India Cement. That's where we're seeing some amount of increase in OI. Now, before we get in our experts for the show, here's a reminder. If you have any queries regarding futures and options markets, you can call us on 02245404141. And of course, write to us on Twitter or Facebook with the AskBQ hashtag. We expect to be back on YouTube very, very soon. And on that note, I'm going to get in our experts for the day. We have Chaturmohta of Sanctum Wealth Management and Aditya Agarwal of F&O Show Securities joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you, and thank you so much for joining us. Ashish, let me begin with you as usual. Well, a bit of a pause before the credit policy, but where do we go from here if you consider the larger picture over the next couple of weeks?
Good morning, Agam. So, see, the broader trend is still promising. We have seen a very sharp up move from 10,700 to almost 11,800 kind of zone, and some kind of, profit booking ahead of event. And yesterday we had this monsoon SkyMet prediction that also resulted in some kind of, nervousness. But generally, whatever we have observed, that these kind of news, whenever the broader trend is promising, is used as an opportunity to create, longer positions at that lower end of the range. So I think keeping that in mind, I think the data is still not very convincing, but whatever we have observed in the history, it gives us a sense that, and also if you look at the large, in the heavy contributors or index heavyweights, they are still in a positive uptrend. So you are seeing stocks like Asian Paints hitting 52-week high, HDFC Limited, Pidilite Industries, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank continuously hovering around 52-week high. So all this put together is giving us a sense that markets can see a good bounce back from current levels, and that's why I'm recommending a long trade in Nifty with a stop below 11,670, where the futures is currently trading around 11,710. So I think 42 points kind of a risk from current levels. This could be initiated as a buy. On upside, 11,800 to 820 is a short-term target I'm expecting in Nifty futures.
Okay, Aditya, let's get you in the conversation as well. Good morning to you too. Do you concur? Are you also positive in the near term if you disregard today's event?
Morning, Agam. But it means if we see overall trend for market, it is quite positive. Market was overbought, so we saw some profit booking from higher levels in yesterday's trade. But if we see the structure for market, it is quite positive. We are still seeing a lot of aggressive put writing at 11,500 level, so that will act as a strong support zone. But yes, on higher, if we see on higher side, then 11,750, 11,800 will act as a short-term resistance zone for Nifty. So we can see some profit booking from those levels. But yes, yesterday we have seen a good amount of profit booking from higher levels. So today we can see some good pullback in the market in next one or two trading sessions. So yesterday's dip and today's softness have given some room for long traders to initiate long position. At current levels, one can buy Nifty. So I'm giving you spot levels. One can buy Nifty around current levels, which is 11,635 levels. And on the higher side, I'm expecting that Nifty can test 11,730. So we can see some 100 to 105 points pullback from these levels. And on lower side, my stop loss will be 11,580 levels.
Okay, a quick word on Nifty Bank, Ashish. What we also noticed is that while it's remained buoyant, we really haven't seen as much participation from some of your heavier weight, large cap private sector banks like HDFC, ICICI and Axis Bank. Based on that, how are you viewing traction on the Nifty banking?
So I think they are into a consolidation phase. Most of these names, let it be Axis, ICICI, HDFC Bank, and no signs of weaknesses being visible. They made all-time high and then some pause near all-time high. So if they would have been really weak, we would have seen a sharper correction, but that has not happened. In fact, they are consolidating near all-time high. So that gives us a sense that Bank Nifty is also poised for a good pullback. I think 30,000 broadly is going to act as an extremely important support for Bank Nifty, and we are seeing maximum put writing also somewhere hovering around those levels. So keeping that in mind, I think a pullback towards 30,600 to 650 is on cards. In terms of futures, 30,100 should be kept as a trading stop loss. On upside, 30,550, 30,600 could be a shorter term target one can expect in Bank Nifty.
Okay, well, since we are talking about the Nifty, we may as well address a query right now. We have Chiranjeev Sarkar. He's bought the Nifty 11,500 put. This is the 25th April put at 85. He wants to know what should be done. Aditya, let me take this one up with you. Do you think it's a good idea to buy a put? And well, considering Chiranjeev has bought it, I reckon you are positive. In that case, what would your advice be? He's bought the 11,500 put, the 25th April one at 85.
Well, I think for the time being, he can continue to hold his short positions. Means I'm expecting that Nifty will continue to trade with positive bias, but not a very big upside from these levels. Probably 100 to 120 points upside can be there. But yes, at higher levels, a lot of resistance will be there around 750, 800 zone. So we can see some profit booking from those levels. And today there is an important event also. So probably we can see some volatility in second half of the session today. And if there's any correction in market, if Nifty comes in the zone of 650 or 600 levels, if at all there is some correction of 50 to 100 points, then that will be a time where he should book profit in his short positions. He should cover this put option. Means on lower side also, we are not expecting a big correction. But yes, in today's volatility, some 850, 100 points dips, if at all it comes, then booking profit in put option would be advisable strategy.
Okay, guys, let's talk about stocks then. And Aditya, I'll come back to you. You have two calls, one on Hero MotoCorp and the other one is on Ambuja. You actually have a short call too. Can you take us through your three picks for today?
Well, yes, means if we see Hero MotoCorp, then this stock has seen a decent correction from higher levels, from 2800 levels to 2500, and 2500 is a strong support zone. And from those levels, last 3-4 days we are seeing some short covering. And today, if we see stock is adding fresh long positions. So from these levels, I'm expecting that Hero MotoCorp can see some good upside, and on higher side can test 2850 zone. So with a positional view, one can initiate long position at current levels with a stop loss of 2510 and target will be 2850. My second call will be in Ambuja Cement. If we see whole cement pack, then cement pack is seeing a lot of buying interest at lower levels. In last 2-3 days, some profit booking was there, but overall structure for cement sector is looking good. And if we see Ambuja Cement, in morning session itself, stock has added almost 20% shares in open interest. So from these levels, I'm expecting that Ambuja Cement can see some good movement on a higher side, can test 238, 240 levels. With a stop loss of 225, one can buy Ambuja Cement. My short call will be in MFSL. Means if we see MFSL in from higher levels, some profit booking signs are there in this counter, and means I'm expecting that this stock may see some selling pressure from these levels. On lower side, my targets are 420. So at current levels, one can short with a stop loss of 446.
Okay. So, well, those are 3 ideas coming in there. But Ashish, you also have 3 ideas for us this morning.
So I'm positive on the paints, industry broadly. I think both these names, Asian Paints and Berger Paints, are seeing considerable amount of OI addition in last couple of weeks, and the price movement is very, very stable in nature, which indicates that a much bigger upside is on cards. Asian Paints is a buy with a stop below 1510. On upside, I'm looking for a target of 1518 Asian Paints. Even Berger Paints, although I've not mentioned the levels, but I believe that since both these names are looking promising, I think Berger Paints with a stop below 328 has a potential to see 348, 350 kind of zone. So both these paint stocks are looking promising. Apart from that, Maruti is one stock which has formed a strong base somewhere around 65, 6600, and from there we are consistently seeing a build-up of long positions. So I think this could be initiated as a buy. 7100 would be my trading stop loss. On upside, 7250 is a shorter term target one can expect in Maruti. And one stock is Bharat Electronics Limited. So if you look at BEL, it has formed a strong triple bottom formation somewhere around 80 odd levels, and from there on we are witnessing a huge long build up, and now we have given a fresh breakout above 100 odd levels in yesterday's trading session, and some knee-jerk reaction from there on. So I think this dip should be used as an opportunity to initiate a long. 97 would be my trading stop loss, and on upside 105 is a short-term target one can expect in Bharat Electronics Limited.
Okay, well, on that note, let's take a look at some stocks that we want to address in today's day of trade. And one of them is, of course, Amara Raja batteries, because the only reason here I reckon perhaps we wanted to take this up is because of the fact that it's called off its deal with Johnson's Control. This is a 2-decade-old deal, and of course has been called off, because of which we did see a lot of weakness in yesterday's day of trade. But the real question is, have things changed substantially? Has the underlying trend changed for Amara Raja batteries, or further become worse? That's the question, considering it's down around 8.5%, but a bulk of this decline came in just in yesterday's day of trade. So Ashish, can you come in on Amara Raja? What would you do with this?
See, I think yesterday's trading session we saw very heavy, short build-up and heavy volume-based breakdown, which we witnessed in the stock. Then some, positive gap-up opening in today's trading session. But I believe 700 is going to be extremely important resistance point for the stock. And if 700 is not crossed over, then I think stock might dip further towards 640, 620 kind of zone. The build-up of the position is very, very aggressively short, and I think that short covering can happen only if you see a sustainable move beyond 700. Till then, I think the trend is weak. But since the stock is sustaining above yesterday's low, which is around 660 odd zone, I think 660 to 680, 690 is broadly a consolidation zone. And once you see a clear breakdown below 660, that will be a first sign of major weakness getting set into the stock.
Okay, well, that's as far as Amara Raja goes. Moving on to Jet Airways and, pardon me, Interglobe Aviation. But this is also possibly on the reason that we have seen so much traction in Jet Airways, and yet, surprisingly, Jet Airways remains, in a very, very tight range. Interglobe Aviation, on the other hand, is seeing gains today. But what we've also noticed is that it has made steady gains since the starting of March. and it did come off from its highs, monthly highs, but it's still, well, trading relatively stronger. Perhaps to do with the kind of gains that we've seen in the entire mid-cap space in general. But currently at around 1,400 rupees per share. Aditya, how would you trade Interglobe Aviation? Would you firstly trade this one? And if at all, then what levels would you watch out for?
Well, yes, means if we see Indigo, then stock is looking quite bullish. Means after a good rally for last couple of days, we were seeing the stock is consolidating in the range of 1350, 1360 on lower side and 1450 on higher side. And in last 3-4 days, we have seen some good amount of profit booking from higher levels, but overall structure remains bullish. I think at current levels also it's a good buy with a stop loss of 1378. One can buy on higher side 1450, 1460 will be the target. So yes, overall structure is good, and the correction which I've seen in last 3-4 days, it can be utilized to initiate long position.
Another one of these companies which is becoming a trader's favorite is Kaveri Seed company. And if you actually look at the last 3-month chart for Kaveri Seed company, it's seen a very sharp drop, and since then it is making a little bit of recovery. It isn't anywhere close to its crucial daily moving averages, but after that sharp drop, there has been a gradual up move. But is this gradual up move here to stay? That's the question we are asking. It's seeing considerable increase in open interest today, but the underlying is down just 1.3%. Ashish, what's the way forward on this one?
See, already I think there's a sharp up move which we have witnessed from the lower levels, I think from 360 to almost 480 kind of zone. But I think the broader structure looks, weak. And I think if you look at, last couple of few months data, clearly shorts were very aggressive in the stock. I think it's just a pullback rally which we have seen in last couple of few weeks. Keeping 480 as a stop loss, I think this could be a little high risk, high reward kind of trade. 480 should be the stop loss for going short into KSCL. On downside, I'm expecting stock to at least retest 430, 425 kind of zone in next couple of few trading sessions.
Okay, so, well, the underlying trend may not be as bullish at this point in time. So we'll keep an eye on that one, and let's address India Cement. Another very interesting stock from a very buzzing sector of late. This one is also up. It's not really seeing as much change in open interest, but the reason why I did want to pick on this one was because of the entire cement pack, which has been seeing so much traction. To talk about this one specifically in terms of what it has done over the past 1 month or so, if we can actually pull up one of those charts and take a look at how this one has done. Okay, so it's up as much as 12% in just the last 1 month. Kanti at 108.6. Aditya, what's your view on India Cement? How would you trade this?
Well, means if we see India Cement stock has given a good breakout last few weeks back, and after that it has seen a good rally. So probably it may retest this breakout zone, which is in the zone of 105, 104 levels. But overall structure is good. If it comes around those levels, it will be a good buy. If it comes around 105, one can initiate long positions with a position stop loss of 98. On higher side, I'm expecting it can test 120, 122 zone in next couple of weeks. So as overall cement is looking good, similarly India Cement is also looking good. But I would wait for some dip, let the stock come towards 105. Around those levels, it would give a good risk reward opportunity for buyers. So around 105, one can buy with a stop loss of 98 and target of 120, 122.
Okay, well, on that note, I'm going to go across back to our experts to see if they have been noticing anything interesting over the last 1 hour of trade, anything that they'd like to talk to us about. I'm sure Ashish will have at least a thing or two to tell us. Ashish, anything else that's standing out for you?
Agam, see, today is a little dull because traders must be awaiting for the event, and in fact we have broken 11,700 in the future, so that can create some amount of pressure. But I think 11,670, 680 is an important level to watch out. If we see a break below 11,670, that's a stop loss also we had recommended on our long trade. I think then that can lead to some amount of selling pressure pressure intensifying. So keep very strict stop loss, because today is the event day, so you don't know which side the markets can swing, because if it breaks and sustains below 11,670, then I think shorts will become more active in the market, because that can lead to a breakdown of almost last 4 trading sessions. So we are near that important make or break point. Keep 11,670 as in stop loss. That's the view I would share to the viewers.
Okay, the same question to you, Aditya. Anything that stands out for you, and if nothing, how would you address today's specific day?
Well, stock specific, if you ask me, then Godrej Consumer is one stock which is seeing which is seeing buying interest at lower levels. Means this is last 2-3 weeks stock was in downtrend from 740 odd levels. Stock corrected towards 650, and yesterday we saw some bout of short covering. Today again we are seeing some short covering in the counter. I'm expecting that in this short covering, stock may test 720-725 zone. So in this stock one can initiate long positions with a stop loss of 660. As far as markets are concerned, for today markets will be quite choppy. On lower side, Nifty will find support in the zone of 11,600, 11,580 levels. So another 10-15 points correction in Nifty is there intraday. Then one can use those dips to initiate long positions. And for intraday, if you ask me, then 680, 690 will be the targets which I'm looking for Nifty.
All right, guys. Well, for that, as far as the addressing the markets is concerned, we keep an eye on the RBI credit policy and what comes out of it. But on that note, I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Ashish and Aditya, for joining us and taking us through their views on the markets. For more updates on the F&O space, you can check our website out, bloombergquint.com, especially the futures and options pages. And that's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint for more news and updates, to watch our special coverage of the RBI monetary policy right here at 11:30 onwards. So keep an eye on that one as well as you move in. Thanks.